proud with the Warwick hover there for a second as they lock in Rell. Remember, she was banned in second phase in the last draft. You can see 31% ban rate, 90% pick rate, and a perfect 50% win rate so far in LCS over the course of the lock-in tournament. And Xayah picked up to go with her.
It's important that we see and pay a lot of attention to CLG's draft because this is the first time this team is playing on stage. We haven't seen Finn, RJ's, Griffin in this lineup before, so now we'll get to see what they prioritize, and right away locking in the bottom lane I think just shows you want Smoothie to have something with a lot of agency so he can turn these engages, he can be the main initiator on this champion, and then WildTurtle to follow it up. So I think locking these two right away just tells me you want to make sure that you set up your bot lane to win. We're not really sure about what the rest of the map is going to do as we expect it to be since these players are new to playing together.
And once more, a jungler will don multiple animal hats and take on the role of Udyr here in this game. Dardoch will be the Udyr this time around as Soligo gets Orianna for the mid lane. Dignitas comfortable just picking this mid laner this fast before the second part of the bans are able to roll in. Get Soligo on a champion he's comfortable with. The response from CLG, they want their jungler too before the second part of the bans come in, so they pick the Lilia, which you can see the numbers on your screen right now, and absolutely tragic 23% win rate so far.
Yeah, she's kind of falling by the wayside there as the AP jungler when you've got the likes of the Udyrs and Olafs just running wild. She's fallen down in priority there. But the Orianna pickup is really interesting to me because Soligo versus RJ's is basically an academy mid lane matchup that we're now seeing play out on the LCS stage as the players improve and bring themselves up to par with the rest of the league. And Orianna, very safe. We see how it plays so many times. But what I'm surprised by is that Soligo's lock-in tournament look was a lot more Yone, right? There was the look in the lock-in, these hyper-aggressive mid laners, and now back to more control. So seeing the aggression that we saw in the lock-in tournament and the hope that we had in that it would translate to aggression in these initial first few games, I think is already a misconception. Clearly the teams are not taking that loosey-goosey approach from lock-in into these games.
Well, they're going to take Twisted Fate into this game. Remember that in the previous Champion Select, he was banned out in the first ban phase. So RJ's gets to play the TF. Crumbzz, the look on your face does not seem too happy about the Twisted Fate lock-in here.
I don't like it.
You don't seem too pleased.
I don't like it with the Lilia more than anything else, just because there's too much value from Merc Treads, from magic resistance, from just cooldown or crowd control reduction, QSSs, these kinds of itemizations, cleanses. So the combo, I usually prefer TF with an AD jungler. The only AP I really like is the Nidalee because the point and click goes really well with the spear. But when both are trying to CC you with low damage, you're really counting on Finn right now. They're going to give him the last pick, so that pick might change everything. Camille, Irelia, Renekton, and some of the highest burst physical damage in the top lanes are not available, but you still need these kinds of champions to synergize with the Twisted Fate. You need side lane control, physical damage. What can Finn play here that will really synergize with RJ's?
What will he play as well into the Gnar? Oh. Now, okay, never mind. I don't even get to complete the bit that I was going to do because they lock it in instantly. How do you feel about Gnar versus Aatrox up here, Crumbzz? Talk to me about this because a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Gnar right now.
I don't think Gnar is as bad as people make it out to be. He can be punished in lane, but left alone, even before all the buffs, he was still a very strong laner. Here against the Aatrox, it's just going to be a bit of a farm fest, but the junglers and the mid laners will now be really focused on influencing this map because Finn is not going to be a split-pushing beast on this champion. He'll maybe try to get some help from RJ's and then transition that into teamfight with the rest of the squad. Not the best way to get value out of a Twisted Fate, though, so I think that CLG ambitious with the draft, but if the skill is there, which we haven't seen there since they're new players to the Rift.
New squad.
Yeah, it could work out.
New squad for CLG going up against Dignitas here with the Gnar locked in. They got the Udyr over here. Kaisa's ready to dive in there with them. Alistar also as the support. And we'll see how Soligo's able to do, because remember, Soligo's claim to fame in the lock-in tournament was we got to see Perks play the Yone as his first appearance in North America. It was definitely your team's Yone in solo queue as opposed to their team's Yone. And then Soligo plays it afterwards and pops off, and everybody has a great time. And they're like, wow, Soligo's showing him how it's done. So let's see if he can keep up that sort of Chad energy here moving into the regular season for the LCS.
I hope so. I think people don't give Soligo enough credit. Yeah, he's had a lot of not the greatest games, but when he pops off, it is pure Chad energy when he does so, being able to take those champions like the Yone. And here we actually have a level 1 from CLG, trying to get value out of the gold card from RJ's, going into the top lane brush, and Rell going over the wall. Oh boy, they could catch FakeGod here. They might just be waiting for Smoothie's cooldown before Twisted Fate wraps around.
Oh, this could be a lot of fun here if they actually get spicy at level 1. It's the 4-man collapse. Smoothie's here. He's ready to go. Remounts the horse.
Ooh.
But FakeGod wisely saves the skill point, hops over the wall, and he's gone.
Okay, yeah, I like that move out of him, saving that ability. I mean, it's not going to be a big deal in the laning phase, but it will make Finn's life a lot easier because now Dardoch, or pardon, FakeGod won't have his level 2 with Hyper and the boomerang toss, so less damage for him, makes the laning phase a lot easier for Aatrox, and it really didn't cost a lot out of CLG for that. Just a few moves, the ability from Rell that she was always going to level up, and no wards were placed on the blue side of their map, so they got help for Finn at very low cost.
All right, Dignitas starting their jungler off here on the bottom side. Meanwhile, across the river, it's Griffin starting out with his own chicken camp here by himself. Does not need a leash for that one. Lilia is very talented at clearing out those chickens solo dolo by herself. But of course, not quite as good as somebody like Kayn, still high tier. Going over to the red now, back up towards the Crumbzz. We'll see Griffin clear out the entire quadrant and then move down towards the bottom half of the map himself. They've placed down a ward at their own blue buff just to make sure Dardoch's not trying to do some vertical jungling here, sneaky early on. But no, Dardoch's just clearing out his own Crumbzz. We've got a 2v2 in the bottom lane. Aphromoo eating a lot of damage from Turtle and Smoothie, down to 100 HP. The Ignite used to just make sure, if at all possible, they could grab that kill. But Dignitas will not spend any of their own summoner spells.
They get that trade, and now the lane is entirely theirs. It's the heal advantage. You don't have that on Neo. He's taking cleanse, wisely so, against Twisted Fate. So the all-in right away was always going to be won by CLG, barring some major errors. On top of that, they leashed. So the bot lane had mana missing on Kaisa, so CLG should know, hey, we can actually go for this. Udyr is probably clearing. For an Udyr to go level 2 on Bear Slap right now is actually incredibly detrimental.
It's really weird,
hurt your camp. Yeah, so it's terrible for you to do that. So it's good that you can be aggressive here, knowing where the jungler is at, because even if he commits for it, Griffin would have been able to just get so much value out of him after.
Back up in the top side, at least the top laners don't have to deal with what they did in the previous game with all attention, all eyes just being on this northern part of the map. These guys are left on their nice little island that might be ruined here soon. You can see a normal ping coming out from the side of Dignitas, but Dardoch's just content to wait for the Scuttle Crab to spawn, clear that one out. You can see Griffin doing the same thing, considering he just used the Scryer's Bloom to check and see if Dardoch was there. That means that Dignitas will be aware that he's on the bottom half of the map. You can see that Bloom being fired off as they will trade those scuttles. Udyr immediately going back to the base. Dardoch recognizes, hey, there's no play to be made in top. Aatrox is stuck underneath the turret. It's not happening. So he gets back and gets himself back out onto the map to cycle these camps faster and faster.
Okay, so Griffin and Smoothie going for a gank against Soligo there. They commit flashes, but RJ's doesn't have a card loaded.
Ooh, Soligo just flashing out of the way easily, man. Not under any threat at all for that one, but they at least take the summoner spell.
That really should have been free. There's no cleanse on Soligo. If you just wait for RJ's to have a gold card locked in, he flash stuns, it's a free kill. They didn't do that. They rushed the gun, and so he burns flashes and gets away with it, but they waste time in the bottom lane, which really you don't want to be wasting time like that without getting anything for it. So I really would like to see CLG maybe communicate how they want to play these ganks out, because that was a really good timing. It's just the execution needed a lot more help.
Let's see if Lilia wants to do anything up here. Griffin farming the Crumbzz, but he is spotted out thanks to that ward in the brush right next to them. So Dignitas is aware that the enemy jungler's on the top side of the map. They can do whatever they want here in mid and bottom, but FakeGod must play safely. If he tries to get a little bit too brave up here, could be easily punished. But hey, Dardoch sees that this is the opportunity to try some counter jungling. Unfortunately for him, there's nothing to counter jungle. The yellow hourglass on top of the wolf camp means that's coming up here real soon. And it looks like Dardoch's going to stick around to steal it.
Well, he might be trying to also get a kill on Griffin if the Alistar were to stick around there. So actually we'll get the timing down right, and this is a really nice timing out of him. Probably not going to go for the Grump after, but we'll likely see Griffin. Okay,
oh no, is
Udyr checking
Okay,
in.
I was going to say, is he going to face check an Udyr? No, he does not. Dardoch is not interested in sticking around, but Griffin throwing that swirl seed over the wall discovers the wolves are gone, but he can still take his grump. One camp advantage for Dardoch, and it's the one camp that he stole. So feeling all right about that one. RJ is still only level 5 here on the Twisted Fate in the mid lane. Remember that we're always looking to see results out of that first Twisted Fate ultimate. Whenever you've got one of those huge map-impacting ultis, something like a Karthus ult, a Nocturne ult, a Twisted Fate ult, that first one and how much success it has can be pivotal to your team moving forward going into these early stages, as now it's Griffin and the rest of CLG taking the opportunity to grab themselves the Drake while the enemy jungler's on the opposite side of the map.
They're recalled in the bot lane as well, so it's a nice and easy dragon, and it's not going to be a Twisted Fate ultimate used in the bottom lane. So if we want to look at where it's going to go out right now, even in the top side would be unlikely. It's just so risky to go for a Twisted Fate ultimate when so many of your own members are not on the map. There's a good chance that you actually just get flat out outnumbered here. And Wave is also pushing up top, so I don't know if RJ is actually going to have a good timing to find the opportunity to use this Twisted Fate ultimate. If anything, I'd actually like to see his ultimate be used into his own lane. So if you have the support and the jungler roam into the mid lane, you can surprise him by having Twisted Fate port to his own lane. It's the classic, like, oh, you never thought he would go back to his own lane. You'd think he always goes to the sides, and that way you can punish Soligo, who doesn't have flash, and is the only member who doesn't have it on Dig.
The old school bamboozle, baby. Well, we only got a little bit over 1 minute left before Soligo gets that flash back. So we're going to need to see them make that play soon if they want to make it. Otherwise, Soligo has the tool back in his belt ready to go. Now, checking in on the bottom lane, you can see that Kaisa's got a little bit of a farm advantage, but nothing too crazy. But hey, considering they're going up against WildTurtle and Smoothie, those veterans that you were talking about, and they're winning the lane, I'd say that's pretty good. Now, Aphromoo a veteran himself, but still, Dignitas, you got to take the wins where you can get them. Having a lead here in the bottom lane feels good, man.
Yeah, the lead in the bottom lane, and then the lead in the jungle is slowly growing. It's hard to say how much value you get out of a lead on Udyr there if it's not turning into objective game, which it hasn't thus far, but it can be something that just surprises you out of nowhere when he gets that chem tank completed and just finds a way to chain gank after chain gank. So I think Dardoch can be a big carry force out of this team. We see him often indexing in such a way, whether it's by picking Karthus, getting carry champions, or just being given the agency to power farm and be strong and then team fight. So I'm looking at Dardoch constantly when I see Dignitas as someone that they're going to count on to be a big threat, especially since jungle is so important right now.
Oh, the bowling ball hit. Nope, they're not going in. No bowling tonight. I thought for sure they were going to go for it, but nope, they do not want to whatsoever. Neo does have the cleanse, so it would just be a foolish mistake. But, man, 8 minutes in and no kills. I want to see some kills. I don't care if it's a foolish mistake. I need some action, some PvP in my League of Legends.
Is it slower than the first game of the day, though? No,
okay,
we're faster. We're faster.
Okay, it's close, though. It's close. I need some PvP. Crumbzz. CLG maintaining control over the bottom side now, pushing up, grabbing themselves a couple of plates, and now they're back in control here yet again, as the overall gold will favor them by about 400 or so. Up there in the top side, you can see FakeGod going for the plated steel caps immediately. A lot of times, this is the right call here for a ranged champion to continue to abuse that ranged advantage, while Finn's just working towards that gore drinker here on the Aatrox, and man, we know what that looks like once you get into the team fighting phase. That can be some scary stuff. Dardoch is trying. Oh, no.
Oh,
no. Oh, no. They were trying to hand it off, and they had to play tag with it and chase the damn thing around. Soligo's got 52 mana, and the blue buff died. That feels real bad.
Oh, he has the Doran's ring to try to get mana back out of this lane. And that actually is a big deal because now he has to base, and it does stop the pressure from Twisted Fate. So Orianna wants to be constantly shoving Twisted Fate and to diminish his options on the map. Even if he doesn't have them, you still want to keep him in that position so that you can roam and you can start power farming since you're a little bit faster at doing it. So that blue buff going away for him could hurt Dignitas a bit, and we'll see if RJs can actually find an opportunity to use an ultimate somewhere, because no one's looking for anything, Flowers. It's been a problem with these teams last year where they didn't really play to win, but you hope that here now, facing someone of equal skill, you seize the day and take the win, because, well, if the enemy team won't do it, someone has to.
Well, they're seizing the minions, Crumbzz. Minion after minion after minion. We are now 10 minutes into the game with no kills on the board. 800 gold separating the team, so CLG keeps building the lead. So here's how I look at it, my friend. If you're in a situation like this where nobody wants to fight, I will forgive the team that has a lead in that moment for having that attitude, right? If the natural state of the game is you getting an advantage, sure, okay, you don't have to fight. But for the other squad, I'm going to levy some criticism. Because if you're naturally falling behind, I need to see you get scrappy. So for Dignitas, I need to see the scrappiness coming out. We got ultis available. We got teleports available. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flashes ready to go. And now they're going into the top side to make them happen, baby. FakeGod wants to jump in. No, he goes for the flash, but Finn is fast enough to get himself away.
Okay, finally we get something high. I actually really get your logic here. If you're behind and just naturally falling behind, you better do something about that. And if you're passively building a gold lead, kind of excusable for you to not do a whole lot. Depends on your champions if they're scaling and whatnot as well. But at the end of the day, yeah, if you're winning, it's okay to stay in that position. And now that they've got the flash, though, from FakeGod, I think the Twisted Fate comes out. Yes.
Okay, here it is. RJ's up in the top side. FakeGod with no flash, no rage.
No.
Stuck as a mini Gnar. Jump forward, coming out. Finn's going after it. And there you go, baby. He deals him the cards. And CLG is on the board.
That hurt, Flowers. I know we got a kill, but man, they almost messed that up. If FakeGod actually just kept walking to the side, he would have dodged out on the wild cards. The chain from Aatrox was not comboed with the gold card, so he almost was able to just walk away casually. Whew. Luckily, they get a dragon in return for that one, but at least CLG saw the opportunity once the flash was burned. Like, okay, finally, there's somebody that we can pick on. Maybe they'll continue to do so, as the top lane is still an option. No Merc treads for him, so another visit from Twisted Fate or even a Rell could probably net a kill against Mini Gnar.
Okay, CLG. Wait a second. Hold on a moment here, Crumbzz. Because we got the kill. They have the advantage. Remember, the first blood plus assist. That's worth 600 gold. But the gold lead remains what it already was earlier. Only about 800 or 900 here for CLG. And if we're trying to figure out how that's going down, look no further than jungle and mid lane farm. A nice advantage for Dardoch and Soligo in both of these 1v1 situations. Up in the top side, everything's relatively even despite the death of FakeGod. But down in the bottom lane is WildTurtle with a 4-wave lead, trying to put some feathers into this turret. Here we go, it's Aphromoo. We got a TP coming in too. Somebody's got to be dead in this one. Turtle's hanging around, realizing he's already dead. Everybody from Dignitas is in the bottom lane, baby. It is a party. And these boys are here to rock the house. 2-1 game, Dignitas.
Big play out of Dignitas there with the double TP there. It almost felt like it wasn't necessary, but once you saw that they're able to get 2 kills, we can really understand why they went for it. Not a lot lost in the other parts of the map either, so Dignitas finally waking up, recognizing that they have to be a little bit more proactive there, burning the flash from Alistar. It's the first time we get to see that play, but it's a huge playmaker, and it starts from Aphromoo. The bottom lane is where Dignitas needs to be really playing to, so I love what I saw right there, but you got to continue it. They didn't get any summoners from there, but you have enough crowd control and damage to keep visiting that lane.
Okay, Dignitas now bringing the game back to an even state. Not a lot to fight over on Summoner's Rift right now, my friend. Turret plates will go down here in about 10 seconds, so we might see a push attempt from one of the teams. I'm not sure which one of them will take the initiative there, but the Drake is still dead for 3 minutes. Shelly's still not on the map for another 6. Let's take a look at how this play happened with Aphromoo's flash.
So, all right, you watch it from CLG side, and if there's pure greed for the play, you're not even getting the turret there with that wave. They just want that minion, and nobody else is on the map because you've got Lilia pushing the mid lane. So it's just pure greed out of the bottom lane that gets instantly capitalized out of the side of Dig. And more than anything, you got to give the kudos to who got that ward in the far back there. That's probably Neo or Aphromoo, but the foresight to know that that is how you're going to get a play onto this bottom lane is just spot on, because you need to constantly be threatening these wards in the back of the enemy, whether it's in laning phase or team fight. Flanks are a great way to win fights in League of Legends.
Okay, Shockwave in mid. Soligo going for the kill here, gets the flash out of RJ's, but nothing else. Dardoch runs fast, but not fast enough to chase after him when he flashes underneath the turret. So Crumbzz, after seeing that play, I'm going to pose you a question here. Let's test your predictive abilities.
Okay.
Where's the next kill, and who dies?
Whew. Okay, next kill. It's going to be around Dragon, and it's going to be Aphromoo. Aphromoo will be the next.
The first one to die.
First one to die. He's going to engage very ambitiously, get caught out by himself. The rest of the team won't be able to follow up, and Aphro will die.
Let's see if you are correct. I am excited to see whether or not this comes to fruition. If it does, I'm going to keep asking you for more predictions because you're probably some kind of an oracle. Yeah. Right now, Dignitas is backing away. They steal away the blue buff. They're happy with that. Udyr can stance dance to his heart's content, as you've got 75 seconds until that Drake spawns yet again. Infernal Chains connecting onto FakeGod here in the top side. Aatrox still looking for that in the 1v1. Back here in the 2v2 bottom lane. Turtle only needs a couple of more auto attacks to take down this tier 1. No plating left means they are not trying to defend that one here today. It's Dignitas who's caught out on the bottom side. Aphromoo's eating a lot of damage. RJ for the kill. More damage going through.
Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, Prophet Crumbzz.
There it is. Okay, listen, you just look for who doesn't have flash. The champions that have to go in right after has no flash. He's gonna go down. It was either him or RJ. So him going down is just CLG recognizing exactly who they need to focus on. Finally, RJ's with another ultimate, and you got the Academy substitute mid laner coming in already having 100% kill participation Flower. So RJ is really showing up here despite a bit of a struggle in the laning phase. Still keeping up with pressure on the map, still doing Twisted Fate things, doing what you drafted the pick for.
Okay, Dardoch's up here, going for the play on to Finn. He is very far forward, getting stunned up, kited around, tries to go for the Qs here, landing a little bit of damage, but he's running towards the wrong turret, and that means they should finish him off here. Even if he tries to flash over the wall, Dardoch might be able to run him down. Dashes back over. There is no way.
Whoa.
No way! Kaisa with the flash follow, and Neo gets it done, but good lord, man, that was way too close.
3 flashes? So worth for Finn. They get the dragon as well. Meanwhile, so much attention drawn from the top side, and that's a big move out of him. It almost looked like he was going to be able to 1v2 there, but Dignitas will answer with their own Rift Herald, and they look poised to go for 2. Not a lot of value there, getting charges or even that tier 2 turret. It's not a lot of gold. You do get a lot more for just influencing the map. But we're going to see this play again through the control ward. And FakeGod taking notes from what he saw Revenge do against the Team Liquid bottom lane, chilling in the brush, waiting for his own jungler to help out. And then it's just a very easy kill for the rest of the squad to show up. And it was funny that you even needed Kaisa to be up here because Finn's lifesteal was just so nuts. And he wouldn't have needed to flash had he landed that, but at the end of the day,
he has no killer instinct.
Oh yeah, it's down too.
Yeah, the ulti still had half the cooldown left, so even if he hits that stupid Void Seeker, he still has to flash after him. I cannot believe that Finn almost lived through that. That was nearly the most incredible escape of the game, mostly because there haven't been a lot of other escapes in the game. But still, that was almost really, really cool. Finn nearly getting the escape on that one, and he still commands himself a 35 CS lead, despite the fact that he just dropped there. That was his first death this game. He's got the Gore Drinker, he's got the plated steel caps, working towards that Sterix Gauge next to be that big drain tank in the middle of the fight that is so hard for Dignitas to fight through. Now, RJ's is coming up into the top side, immediately steps onto 2 different wards, so he has to clear that vision out. And now's when I get to ask you again, Crumbzz. You were right the first time. It's time for round number 2. Who's the next death? Where and why?
Okay, where and why? Oh, there's a lot more people without flashes this time, Flower, so it's a lot harder there, but I'm going to go ahead and say Finn's going to be focused down again. I think it's top laners this time around, either FakeGod or Finn. They both burn flashes. Both teams know that there's a lot of action happening there, and no dragon available, so I'm looking at these two as the point of action.
Okay, but which one? You said it's Finn, one or the other, but I don't... Okay, it's Finn? All right. Okay. Finn is the next one to die, according to Prophet Crumbzz. You are promoted to Oracle if you get this one correct. But CLG is trying to avoid some conflict right now, just shoving up the wave instead, taking control over the middle part of the map. Baron will spawn for the first time here in about 30 seconds. Gold's still dead even between the squads. Dignitas about to find themselves in a 2v4. Finn's coming out on the left side flank. Finn's stuck underneath the enemy turret. There is no way. He cannot keep doing this. Oracle Crumbzz with the prediction. action as Dignitas is coming right back in for the fight in a 4v3. Now they're looking for the damage onto Smoothie as Neo approaches from the side with a killer instinct, grabbing some damage, and Smoothie is down. Soligo goes for a big two-man ulti, but Griffin's able to stay alive here with a stasis. RJ's trying to grab a little bit more damage here with the wild cards as FakeGod does not get what he's looking for. Yes, it'll be Turtle, but he dies in the process. Aphromoo tries to run away, but one more card will take him out. It is a 3-for-4, and CLG win the fight.
Oh man, this game is just suddenly getting so hypey. We are so close between these two, and it all started because CLG thought they could dive Soligo. He's got flash. They need to combo something against him. The Rell engage with W is way too slow. It was so easy for Soligo to react, and then, I mean, Finn dying. The secret is, Flowers, I have a death note. That's it.
That's where you're writing your prediction.
That's
in a death note.
That's the secret. Yeah, all right, watch this. Right, how is he not going to react to this? Dude, this is a pro player. You get paid to react to that. 1.5 second engage is way too easy to disengage from, and then the rest of the squad has no problem dealing with this. But man, CLG was already really strong here when they went for this, because without Aatrox, it's all WildTurtle, and he's doing so much damage. I don't think he stopped auto-attacking. Good reset there on his ultimate, but end of the day, gets shoved back by FakeGod and almost 1v3.
So close, and then Aphromoo dies to this last little bit of damage here. RJ's takes him down. CLG does a good job winning that fight, because at one point it was 5v3. As soon as it was 5v3, it became a 4v3 as the 5th player of CLG, or of Dignitas, excuse me, died. And there you go. Damage dealt last team fight. Whew. Everybody else put together on CLG did... Okay,
less.
So let's see.
It's
29
less.
plus 17 is 46 plus 400. Yeah, slightly less damage than WildTurtle. It's close. It's like within a couple hundred. But WildTurtle did more damage than everybody else on the team put together. That's it.
I like the evolution of quick maths on cast. It's no longer specific numbers. It's just more or less. Yes, it's more or less. But here's
more or less.
fight.
We're in there, and more or less, we got to fight now, baby. Big ulti's coming down here as a lot of damage finds its way onto Smoothie, but he's barely able to stay alive. Neo's grabbing a killing spree as he shuts down WildTurtle, flashes over the wall for the triple kill. Dignitas kill off 3. They lose only their mid laner, and they are marching down towards Baron.
That fight started on maybe 3 different fronts, with Dardoch wasn't even there, but still CLG get obliterated because they didn't know that a fight was happening. Dignitas had the entire control of the map. CLG trying to get some consolation prizes here, but Finn will just have to run away. Might be thinking about 1v2ing. Doesn't have the ultimate, but still has plenty of life steal. It's still a huge win out of Dig, and CLG need to think about how they want to deal with these team fighting champions. You have a Twisted Fate for split pushing, and he's going to die again.
Okay, he's going in. He uses the stasis. Neo's trying to walk it off, not end up getting himself killed here. That was not good.
No, that was a bounty that you gave away as well. So a little extra gold there into the pocket of the most fed member on Dignitas. 6 kills on this Kaisa, just casually been picking them up randomly too. How many random kills has Neo gotten? The one on Finn top, one on Finn at the Tier 2 turret. This other one, people just throwing money at him like it's his birthday.
That was a real bad time for CLG. Not only does their mid laner give away the free kill with the bounty, but they lose the opportunity to go for the Drake, and that means Dignitas will tie up the Drake count now too. And considering they've got 2 minutes with this Red Bull Baron buff, they can do so much. And here's what happened with RJ's. He's going in, man. He sees Neo, and he's like, okay, we gotta go.
So, okay. I'm going to try to put myself in RJ's mind here and what he was going for. I think he wanted to steal this. He's got Smite as a summoner spell from the spellbook. It's entirely blind. I mean, granted, this is the most optimistic, ambitious steal of all time. You're walking into it blind as a Twisted Fate. So if he got it, he'd be the biggest G of all time for a steal, but he did.
But in what world is half HP Kaisa soloing Baron? Like, there's no way it's just Kaisa.
Yeah, that's why it's very ambitious.
Because I'm having a hard time working through this one in my mind, but we can't be thinking about that no more. We got to think about the future. my friend. In the future, at least for the next minute and 15 seconds, is a Dignitas Baron push. 3,500 gold they've already earned from this Baron power play. Let's see what they can find here as they're pushing onto the tier 3. WildTurtle losing some HP, Dignitas continuing this push, and they'll crack the first tier 3 turret of the game. They aren't stopping yet, though, going straight for the inhib itself. Finn whirling that sword around, seeing if maybe there's something he can do here on the front line, but there just is not. FakeGod priming the wave over here in mid, getting ready for the second lane to be pushed. Dignitas not bothering to go for a 4-1 type of split. They're trying to use everybody together here to make sure they can push down mid lane, and we have a pause.
Yes, we do, right in front of the base, too. So it looks like CLG and Dignitas are in a very tense moment. This is way worse for the players than it is for us. So we just have to hold tight while they have to think about defending, and a game pause with Baron right in front of you. And you don't have a lot of wave clear, and you only have a Rell without flash. It's a dire hour on the CLG camp.
We'll update y'all whenever we know what exactly is going on or how soon we'll be able to be expecting ourselves back in the game. But okay, Crumbzz, I can't ask you any more predictions right now because the game's paused, and it's not fair to ask you when you can't see whose flash is up and whose isn't. So let me just ask you a broader question instead. What is the play here for CLG to have a chance still in this game? Because it's quickly running away from them with how easy Dignitas is bulldozing through things with this Baron.
Okay, so you need to get a numbers advantage because you're too far down in gold. So it's either using Twisted Fate to get behind the opponent, thinking like a Messiah-style play, but also with Rell engaging. You don't have Flash on Smoothie, but you do have Hex Flash. So if you could actually catch Soligo or Neo is a lot harder to catch, so I'd be looking out for Soligo as the target if you can catch him by himself. You use Twisted Fate ultimate to see where the enemy is at. The second you see them out of position, you got your own teammates ready, you pounce, you try to get a kill and disengage right away. You don't need to get a team fight win, you just need to get one kill so that Dignitas stops pushing with Baron.
But how about after that? You get the one kill, you stop the Baron, you're back in neutral territory. Even after Baron's done this game, Dignitas has already earned themselves a spot where they're at a 5,000 gold lead. Now, considering this game was only 1,000 or less gold apart for the majority of it, CLG now has an upward hill to climb. How many of these picks does CLG have to get before this game feels truly winnable?
You tend to have to constantly play around picks when you have Twisted Fate against somebody like the Orianna. She's just so much stronger than you in the team fight. So to try to keep up with that is already playing against your own win conditions. So Twisted Fate continuing to look for flanks is not a bad way to try to win this game. It will take quite a few, but if you can chain them into objective wins, dragons, barons, turrets, it starts to add up. Beyond that, though, if you can't get that, you already saw how much damage WildTurtle is dealing. So just keep him alive more than anything else. This is a moment where prioritizing the engage and the big wombo is not ideal because there's not enough follow-up. Here's where you have to disengage and try to allow Turtle to kill everybody else. You just don't have enough damage on TF, Lilia, and Aatrox right now.
Yeah, WildTurtle looked like he was having a great game earlier, popping off, had a large CS lead in the bottom lane, but these past couple of fights have just favored Dignitas thanks to the way that they're able to play things. And honestly, it's the Kaisa, man. The triple kill in the team fight that led to the Baron, the fact that they were able to outplay, he properly used the supercharger to dodge the aggro when the Twisted Fate was coming after him in the Baron pit to stay alive and not give away that 900 gold shutdown that would have happened if TF killed him. I'm really liking what we're seeing out of him, and I think if he continues to play this game solidly, they should just close it out.
Yeah, Kaisa, and it's hard for us to understand this, spectating it, but she has an invisibility. Right? Like, this champion is dashing around invisibly in the team fight, dashing with Gale Force on top of the ultimate dash and shield. So there is a lot of difficulty when it comes to engaging on this pick, locking her down. So she is out of the question now, way too fed to be dealt with. So Neo having a bit of a pop-off game randomly, and it's just a good thing to see because he's such a new player that we didn't know that we could focus him and look to see him get so much gold. But now if we have a few more games like this, suddenly we'll be thinking Neo, Johnson, it just seems like anybody that's new and plays with Aphro ends up looking good.
And going back to what we were talking about at the beginning of last game, how I said I thought it was good for Fudge to be playing up against a newer roster, a roster where he could pop off better against them instead of having to deal with these super seasoned veterans of the top lane in a 1v1. That's kind of how I feel about this game here, too. If you can have a pop-off game for a couple of these players or for the team as an entirety here and just get yourself warmed up, get yourself going on that hype, it could lead to a lot better things as they move forward and have to play against those tougher teams. Because if you lose to a lower-tier team and then have to play a higher-tier team, you aren't going to be feeling good about that at all. You already lost to the weaker guy. Now you got to fight the stronger guy? But if you can take down the weaker guy and look good doing it, well, maybe you're going to have enough gusto to be the main character in the movie and try to be the underdog, telling the Rocky story up against the big guys like TL or C9.
That motivation is huge. Like, how hyped do you think the members on someone like IMT are today, right? They're thinking the world's their oyster. They can do anything in the league with a win like that. So starting off in the right foot in the more condensed season, which I think is really another element to how much more intense things have gotten. 3 days of games now, right? 15 every time. It's going to go by very quickly because the teams will barely have any time to prepare. So as long as you can keep those early wins going, you use that as the fuel that motivates you to keep going through those tougher games. If you have to find that fuel as you go, you're really the starving man looking for food. It's a lot harder than you're with a big full belly and then looking for whatever you want next.
Okay, so speaking of full bellies, Crumbzz, you posted something on Twitter before this game.
Here we go.
Made a table. And I told you, look, man, I've already broken down everything I have to say about the current state of the game. I'm talking about the table that you built on Twitter now. The pause has lasted longer than I thought it is. We're talking tables. Okay. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed with the craftsmanship on that table. I think it's badass. So now I got to ask you, what is the first thing you're eating for dinner off of that table after we wrap up the stream tonight?
Oh, man, I'm going to have some rice, some yak, and some vegetables, and maybe some fruits. Yeah, I'm having ground yak.
You got the whole food pyramid. Wait, like a yak, like the animal thing with the horns?
Yeah,
looks like a bison?
The big fuzzy one with the horns, yep. I got myself a yak dealer. I got my guy.
Does it taste like steak or what is it?
It tastes a bit better. It's a little more lean. I also had some yak steaks. Yeah, I would recommend it. It's cheaper, too, because nobody knows about it. So I was like, hey, let's get it.
All right, I'm eating a yak someday then. But, so, let me think here. Because if you're eating a yak, you've got to be able to eat other stuff in the yak family. Like a water buffalo.
Yeah,
or
buffalo, cows.
Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. We're back in the game. We ain't no time for water buffaloes. None of that right here in League of Legends. We are playing some games, and we got the mid lane tier 3 turret falling over. Now, the inhibitor is the next one under fire as FakeGod is connected with by the Infernal Chains. Finn will not be able to go in here just yet. Lands Q1, but can't do a whole lot else. Otherwise, you're risking getting caught out. And looks like Dignitas is running this one away. 2-man sleep from the Lilia, but nobody can catch up in time, and Dig disengages.
Yeah, just a little power nap before they go into the next inhibitor there. Double inhib now. Didn't lose anything for it. Still have a few more seconds on the Baron. That's pretty much checkmate there from Dignitas. As long as they don't mess up a big team fight there, they should be well poised to end this game out. CLG need to do something right now when they're not reset. You see moments like this right afterwards when they've based. That's the time where you might be wanting to use Twisted Fate Ultimate and change somebody else to get out of the base and find a pick, because otherwise you're never going to catch Dig alone. They're just going to group up since they don't need to do much else to end this game.
All right, Dignitas enjoying their 4,000 gold lead. Baron has worn away. It is 2 minutes until both Drake and Baron are alive on the map. Remember, Drakes are even between these teams, so it's not like one of them is competing for a soul and the other has to stop it. Still pretty neutral territory down there in that bottom half of the map. Looking across the items and the players, it's all about Neo. Man, this Kaisa 6-0-2. The only player on Summoner's Rift right now without a single death. But of course, Dardoch is right there next to him. Only 1 death so far for him with 7 assists here on this Udyr. Has Force of Nature completed, working on the Dead Man's Plate, making sure he can get in there as fast as humanly possible to get these fights started off. Now, Dignitas feels comfortable pushing up even without a Baron. They know they only have this one lane with an inhibitor turret left standing. A little bit of CC onto Dardoch, but it doesn't matter. He's Udyr. He can walk that one off. FakeGod is about to lose his Rage Bar and turn back into Mini Gnar, so that means no dives are on the table just yet. But man, they got so much free pressure in terms of these super minions in 2 other lanes, they don't need to worry about a dive. They can play it slow and steady.
Bot wave is about to start getting into the wave, and I think Neo will be fine. He has cleanse, so the sleep just gets instantly removed and we'll be able to heal back up from the wave. That actually is a big deal. CLG just used their main engage now with the Lilia, or at least a potential follow-up or powerful ability from Griffin. So now how do you even find the opportunity with WildTurtle clearing the wave? It seems like they're just setting themselves up for a last stand inside the base and not defending this turret.
All right, Dignitas, let's see if you got what it takes to end the game right now. TF ulti showing up. CLG trying to go in. Finn coming around from the side. Dignitas in a bad spot. Neo having to go Killer Instinct over the wall. He goes forward. He's staying alive and he's grabbing some of the damage, but now shut down by Griffin. It's WildTurtle grabbing a shutdown on FakeGod 2. Only Smoothie dead for CLG, and a beautiful flank play. They pincer them and get a 4-for-1 for CLG.
That was beautiful. They knew exactly who they had to focus on. So the sleep from Lilia that got the cleanse earlier was capitalized upon. They had Twisted Fate and Aatrox follow up behind, instantly stunned them, and they weren't able to kill him, but it did force the Killer Instinct to reposition into the base, and that just sent Kaisa straight into the arms of WildTurtle, who was still able to survive and dish out all that damage. So watch the flanks in the back. It's the Twisted Fate and the Aatrox that saved the day here. So the Aatrox TP ward that was not cleared out, right? The only ward in all the blue side jungle. Look at how much vision Dignitas put. They were not able to get it. And then a great stun there. Only able to hit him from that angle because of the RFC that RJ's has. And so then the team fight is all won. You took out the Kaisa, you got the gold, WildTurtle's protected. All the criteria we asked for CLG was done. But what happened? Why?
Oh no!
What?
Wait, Twisted Fate, why are you out here, brother? Oh no! CLG loses their mid laner. He tries to flash away from the engage from Aphromoo, but that alone doesn't matter, and that's a free Baron for Dignitas, man. It is already gone.
Oh boy, we don't know how he ended up there, but all we know is that Dignitas now have another Baron to work with, and the base has less structures on the side of CLG than last time. So this Baron can end the game if they're not careful there. It won't be around dragons, but without Twisted Fate again, they're just going to have to be on the back foot when it comes to vision again. And we saw how much that played a role in stopping the CLG flank. If Dignitas was able to get another control ward or just sweep out that other ward, Dig could have probably ended the game.
Well, Dignitas now has another chance to end the game here. 2.5 minutes of Baron buff, pushing into the enemy base. 2 inhibitors are live. That bottom lane inhib did respawn. Mid lane inhib respawning in about 10 seconds, as you can see on your screen there in the bottom left. FakeGod getting away from Finn. No inhibitor turrets left to fight around. CLG has to fight in open ground or surrender all inhibs, and you know they don't want to be doing that. Griffin trying to get a little bit of damage down onto Dardoch as the CC comes through. Nice shockwave, but an even nicer kill for WildTurtle. Aphromoo with a massive 3-man knock-up as WildTurtle's going to be killed off. Neo's going into the back. The boy is fearless here in the Kaisa, looking for a little bit more damage onto RJ's. Finn killing off Aphromoo. CLG standing strong, but Kaisa's still keeping on. Finn's the target, RJ's the target, Neo's still standing and fighting, and the boy is winning. Dignitas, they go 3 for 3, and they're still in the enemy base. They still have Neo.
Oh, what a clincher. Oh my god, that was so close for so many spells to actually swing the game. And here goes again and dies. Oh crap.
No. Okay. There's 2 types of AD carry players in League of Legends, Crumbzz. There's the guys that go on social media and complain that their role is weak, and then there's the Kaisa that stands point-blank range with Aatrox and shoots him in the face till he dies. Neo is absolutely popping off this game.
Oh, okay, watch Turtle. Watch how he just obliterates Soligo, right? Just gale forth into insta-kill Orianna, huge move there, and then you're thinking it's gotta be one, but a huge shockwave, and then Neo just absolutely pops up, right? You eliminate WildTurtle, you gotta thinking you gotta have it, right? Neo, no AD carry, but the Aatrox lifesteal is so huge there. Watch, if the second Q from Aatrox would have hit this one, CLG wins.
Oh man, what a fight. What a game from Neo. 13 out of 16 kill participation, making plays like that. Dignitas is just primed to be able to win this game right now. They got 90 seconds until their opponents might be able to take the Infernal Soul, so they do want to maintain control over that when Neo still has this Baron for another 6, 5, 4. Wait, why did it stop? 3, 2, 1. Okay, no more Baron, no more purple minions. They got to shrink back down to the normal size, but they continue pushing up. still have 3 minutes until either one of the other two inhibitors respawn, so they will continue to pressure the remaining inhib here in the bottom lane. Dardoch throws out the blue smite. They can't really find any sort of a way in here just yet. Prey Seeker, not Prey Seeker, excuse me, that would be the Void Seeker from Kaisa, as Neo and the rest of Dignitas will take down that last remaining inhib. It's double super minions in every single lane now, and things just go from bad to worse here for CLG. The push continues. Dignitas getting all these super minions flooding into the base at the same time. It is a deluge of PvE combat as Griffin tries to go in and start off a fight, losing half his HP, going into the stasis. Gnar's going to be killed before we can do much of anything. Neo gets the shutdown on the enemy jungler, bringing himself back to a better spot. RJ's walks forward into the shockwave and now has to flash right back out. Double kill for the Kaisa. Finn's getting himself run down. Neo's got all the damage here with the Acathian rain. Make it rain all day long. Triple kill for Neo in the game-ending fight. Dignitas with one Nexus turret, with two Nexus turrets, with everything. 33 minutes into the game, a Bud Light ace to wrap it up, and Dig takes down CLG.
I gotta tell you, Flowers, I never expected that the last game of the day between Dig and CLG would be the most hype of them all. I love this one. At the end, you got Neo seeing the Matrix falling down. He knows what to do in the team fight. Doesn't get hit by the Lilia sleep, which was one of the worst last-ditch efforts, but considering how many great defenses CLG put up, we're starting to see signs of life for a team that got the first game on stage, and they don't even have their full members here.
What an awesome game for Neo. I am just so happy to see him pop off like that. That is a confidence booster right there. You're talking about that feeling that Immortals has taking down TL? Well, Neo specifically has to be feeling great about how he played this one, navigating those fights, falling back when he needed to play defensively, and at the same time, never being afraid to all in when he had to be the carry. I loved watching his Kaisa play this game.
That reposition there when he got flanked and thinking, I don't have cleanse, I don't have anything, but how do I get out? How many, he's got a split second to make that choice, instantly pulls it, and just that kind of decision making. I mean, his first year into the LCS, so many players are like this. We need to celebrate when they do well so that they continue to improve.
Well, hell yes. Celebrate that game, Neo. That was great. Aphromoo also having some big pulverizes in some of those fights. A lot of good shockwaves coming out from Soligo here as well. But one thing that you got to be looking at is the other side of the table. RJ's was a pretty clear weak link here for CLG. Multiple misplays in this game. Might just be the stage nerves getting to him, being subbed in place of Pobelter. But CLG is going to need to see him clean that up going forward into the next couple days this weekend.
He had some misplays, yet he also had some very intelligent looks. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out of RJ's, and personally, I think he's just warming up to getting back into the mid lane. He was playing top last year, so slowly getting back into the groove of things will be a positive thing for this mid lane who has been playing League for quite some time, and I think is at least being assertive, which is a really good thing. I'd rather see him die making plays than have a 0-0-0 TF at 20 minutes.
0-0-0, worst score. That means you're not playing PvP. You're probably just going and playing some farming simulator stuff. Go in there, player versus player. That's what the combat's all about. That's it for us here for the day. From me and Crumbzz, he's going to go eat some yak, and I'm going to wish that I had a yak dinner. But after the break, we will be back for the Verizon post-game interview with Aphromoo.